All right, folks, you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit. I am not a YouTuber, but I've been getting a lot of requests to get this thing up on YouTube now that I've got it. I've been driving it for about 2 weeks now, have almost 800 miles on it, and I do apologize as well for being in the garage, but it has been raining all day, and I just detailed this bad boy, so definitely do not want to get it out in the rain. So as you can see by the sunroof, this is the DCT version, and we'll take a quick peek inside. So I wanted to really just get this quick video. I know everybody knows what this thing looks like. You've probably watched every YouTube video on it, as I have done as well recently. But I wanted to give a few impressions on my thoughts on the first 2 weeks. So I definitely have not given it the beans yet. I'm still trying to break in that engine, and then want to get my first oil change at about 1,500 miles as well, and then I'll be ready to rock. So haven't used NGS yet. Little red button there. I have also not engaged launch control because I'm worried about what I might do if I engage. So just have stayed away from those things. So one thing I like, we have our N buttons here. Both of these are actually customizable on either side. I believe from the factory, left side comes with drive mode, which is here. So that's where you can switch between eco, normal, sport, and then N is actually a separate mode outside of the regular drive modes. So this right side is then from the factory set up as full N mode, which I will warn you is very aggressive for just driving around town. Incredibly aggressive. You can see my mileage there. So I have customized my right side for myself, and have lightened up the suspension just one notch, so put it in sport instead of N mode, and lightened up the steering one notch as well. I will say the transmission is very aggressive in N mode as well. If you're just kind of in stop and go or rush hour traffic, it gets a little bit jerky and revs pretty high, which is fantastic and fun and poppy. However, in stop and go, really bad traffic, it might not be what you prefer. So you've got a 12 volt down here, if you can see. You've got your USB for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and then there is a second USB here just for charging only. I love the physical buttons here for, obviously you have dual climate, but I love that this is kind of separate. You've got all the physical buttons. These are not touchscreen. These are actually physical buttons. And then physical buttons down here. Have the traditional power knob as well as shortcuts. You can customize your favorite button, and you can also customize this favorite button on the steering wheel. These all feel great, by the way. This toggle in N mode allows you to switch between things like tire pressure, G-force, lap time. I think there's one other thing. So it is somewhat customizable, but doesn't give you full range of kind of what you're looking at. And same with this button here, the favorites button, as well as the other favorite button. It's customizable to an extent. It gives you a few options to choose from. Again, same with the N mode buttons, where there's some customization you can do there, but it only gives you a few choices. So obviously I've got my little center console. You are going to want a microfiber towel because this thing is a fingerprint magnet. I have ordered a 10.25 inch glass screen protector. I'm going to try it out. I don't know. I'm a little worried about it. I suck at installing those things, so I'm not sure how excited I am about using that. The seats, I know some of the reviewers have said that these seats are not super comfortable. I don't really have any complaints. I love how they kind of sit really low in the back end here, so it just kind of tucks you in. The bolstering's good. I've had a couple friends that are much bigger than me. I'm only about 165 pounds, and they do complain that it can be a little tight on the thighs, but these guys are probably 200 plus pounds, so if you're under that, you shouldn't have any complaints. This LED strip goes all the way across. This can be customized as well. You can change it to a permanent color, or you can actually change it and customize it to the driving mode that you're in. So for example, if you want it to be red in sport mode, every time you go into sport mode, that'll change with it. So it's kind of cool, although I find myself in custom N mode pretty much 95% of the time, unless maybe I see a cop or something and I don't want my exhaust cracking and popping. So we have our Bose system as well. I mean, it's good. If anybody knows anything about Bose, you know that they're a little bit heavy on the mids and highs and not so great on the bass. So there's that. You know, it sounds good. It's clear. You do have to crank this thing up to 40 or 50 to even hear it on the stereo. So that's kind of weird. I don't know why it's that way. This trunk is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. If anybody, I guess, has seen an Elantra, I believe it's the same exact size. But I have seen a few reviews that are claiming that you can't put the seat down. That is bull honky. You can put it down on both sides. Obviously, you have this to contend with, but if you're hauling stuff in this car, you need to buy a different car. So you do have a tiny subwoofer back here too. Again, not fantastic. The sound system is more than okay, but I have found myself more often than not listening to the exhaust tones more than anything. So pretty normal Hyundai fashion here in Kia fashion. You get your little kit here, and then you have your tire pressure stuff, no spare. It definitely has room for a spare, but trying to keep things light here. So yeah, those are kind of my first impressions. Overall, I am more than happy. I have been super excited to get in this thing as often as I possibly can, because it is just that much fun to drive. I don't think anybody has discovered what this silly thing is. It feels like a sticker, I'll be honest with you. It doesn't feel like that could potentially be upgraded later in software for anything. I'm pretty positive that that's some kind of sticker. The only thing I can guess here is that they just wanted this to flow a little bit better across the front, and that's why it looks like that. So again, nice physical buttons. You can brighten your dash here really easily. You've got your lane assist as well, and you know, that button that you always want off when you're having some good times. Other than that, yeah, I think that's everything. I'm very impressed. Oh, love the blue stitching. This really helps the interior pop, because as you can see, it's black on black on black on black. So it can get a little bit boring, and especially with the blue exterior, the performance blue exterior, this really brings everything and ties it together and makes it look really nice. You do get a few of these lines that I assume were meant to break up some of the black, but it's really, really black in here. And I'll say the hard plastics, kind of annoying, but that's how you keep the cost down when you're really focused on performance. Sunroof is awesome. You can actually pull this thing back almost in any increments that you want. You could have it open an inch, 5 inches, 7 inches, like it really doesn't matter. You can pull that back. So that's really nice as well. I will say it does produce a lot of brake dust, likely because I'm driving like a maniac and braking really hard often. But anyway, I just thought I'd put my quick first impressions together for you. Definitely not disappointed. It does come with 2 apps as well. You get the Blue Link app. My dealer gave that to me for 3 years for free. I believe that's pretty standard across the board. They had already tinted it by the time I got there. This was there less than probably 10 hours by the time I got there, and they somehow got the tint on already because, you know, they like to upcharge for all of their dealer add-ons. The other app, this does have the digital key, which is really, really fantastic. You don't have to have your key fob with you if you don't want it. So you just remote unlock it from the digital key app, and then you get in and you place it on the wireless charging pad, and it will start right up for you. It'll recognize the digital key. So that's kind of a cool feature that I was unaware of when I first purchased the vehicle. I believe that app is free. If anybody wants to correct me on that, feel free, but the Blue Link app does cost after a period of time. So actually kind of interesting and annoying, but this thing is massive. Like, it's ginormous, and it traps dirt. I mean, it gets caught in every crevice here. So I'm not sure if at one point I may try and remove that or not. I don't mind the badging. Wish it was blacked out, but it's a dirt trap. Let me show you in the back here too. I have a friend who's a professional detailer and comes out once every couple of weeks for me. But you get dirt really trapped in these letters as well. You can kind of see, I literally detailed this 2 days ago, and you can see the dirt that kind of gets in there. So that's quite irritating. Not sure if I'll end up removing those as well. But these badges are just really, really big. So another little bit of frustrating, but not a deal breaker for me. So let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them for you. You will not be disappointed. Don't pay markup, people. There'll be plenty. Just be patient. Most places are doing anywhere from I've heard all the way up to $10,000 markups on these things. So try to stay away from that if you can. Dealers are also going to try to add on as much as they can. Like I said, they had already added on a bunch of crap before I got there. So they did the tint. They did some kind of, I don't know, surface protection that you can get for free every 6 months for like 5 years. It's bull crap. I looked it up. The company they use gets awful, terrible reviews, so I probably won't go back and do it. These tires, yes, that's another thing. Sticky in a good way. Fantastic for driving, but if you have any dirt, rocks, sand, anything on your street, these tires are going to pick those up and just kick them, and you're going to hear them clanking in the undercarriage everywhere you go. So I don't know if I've never driven on these tires before. These are just incredibly sticky tires, and it is hard to get this thing loose for sure, but you will pick up just about everything and it will fling it. So you'll tend to get a lot of dirt right in this area, especially on the Performance Blue. You'll see all of it, so I'm constantly wiping down that area, and same within the front. And these skirts get really, really dirty really fast as well. I'm sure I'll get less obsessive as time goes on, but dealer also added these door protectors here, which I guess I'm indifferent about. I don't really care, but just another thing. The other complaint I would have is the keyless button here on the side. It looks like it has a finger spot, but it never tends to work. I don't know if this is a quirk with a lot of the other Elantras, but when you have the key in your pocket, you can reach in and the door will unlock, but when you try to lock it, it just doesn't seem to react. So I don't know if anybody has any tricks. I've done a little bit of research but haven't found much. But that seems to be super touchy, and it's kind of all over the place, and you can't have your hand inside, you know, when you're trying to lock it, because it's trying to unlock it. It's just kind of messy. So I tend to not really use it, and I just go back to the fob or the digital key. The digital key is Bluetooth, so you will have to be next to your vehicle, where the Blue Link app allows you to start it over GPS. So that's a benefit of having both. And with the Blue Link app, you can start it and set your temp controls. You can turn, I believe you can turn the heat on in your seat. So I think that's enough. I'll give all that to you. Say peace out. Sorry for the crappy video. Like I said, not a YouTuber, but just wanted to get first impressions out for those that are still waiting or excited. And we'll catch you on the other side. Thanks.